Before we get into this video, I just wanted to mention that for natal chart readings on my website, more slots are currently available at this time. If you wanted me to make a comprehensive overview of your charts in the form of a 1 hour long video, and I don't know how long I will be doing readings as my channel is constantly growing and I have other interests as well. But at this time, at the time of this video being released, I am currently doing readings. So if you enjoy my videos and you like this video, then definitely consider checking those out and getting an overview of your personality and how you're perceived by others and your North Node purpose based on your placements on my website, which is in the description. Other than that, we can go ahead and get into the topic of today's video, which is Venus in Sagittarius. For one, this placement shows that you have a love of knowledge, travel, and experience. Such people love to learn. They love books and informational content. There was also an interest in learning about femininity and other topics of Venus, which could be attraction, fashion, money, and the philosophy of pleasure or value. Such men that have this placement could be interested in understanding the philosophy of women and their psychology. With your money, because Venus rules money, you can be carefree and indulgent. Same when it comes to food, because Venus rules food. Sagittarius can be indulgent and Venus shows pleasure. On the other hand, Sagittarius can show developing a philosophy or morality around how to spend your money that either controls this tendency and attracts more abundance to you. So either way, you have strong opinions about how people should best use their money. Some of you that have this placement think that it is best to spend money on the experience of life and that money should not be held on to stingily. Others of you will believe that money should be spent through some sort of financial system that you guys have learned that favors abundance. So some sort of budgeting system that allows you to have many experiences, but also that controls the tendency of indulgence. So next, what this placement shows is that in love, because Venus represents love, you will also be experienced and wise even. You are able to counsel others in love because love becomes a philosophical topic in the chart when Venus is in Sagittarius in the person's chart. Sagittarius is all about philosophy and wisdom. Venus shows our charm, our appeal, and what makes us attractive and relatable. With Venus in Sagittarius, what makes you attractive is your detached and carefree nature. You are also quite revealing of your femininity or free with it, especially if you're a woman, and that's what would make you attractive. Sagittarius is about sightseeing. So men or women may have this experience through your way of dress or aura and personality. They might feel like they are sightseeing because your energy or your aura is so free or like revealing. Sagittarius is about revelations. It's about knowledge. It's about epiphanies. So when the planet of love is there, it has a very, or like the planet of attraction is and femininity is there, it has a very, very revealing effect. And it just could be your aura. But many females that, for example, have Venus in Sagittarius like to dress in a freeing way. You know, they like to dress in a way that allows for movement and air and, openness, and it can be visually appealing. So generally speaking, they don't care who's looking. Also, your abundance mindset will be what makes you attractive when you have Venus in Sagittarius. Sagittarius is about good fortune, options, and abundance. In love, you ultimately will not take things personally and experience things mainly as a philosophical experience or just as examples of what is true about humans. Your relationships tend to be more circumstantial and a sort of gamble rather than obligations and anchors to your identity. Love and heartbreak and relationships make you wiser when you have Venus in Sagittarius. What makes you relatable is your culturedness, your education, or your innate wisdom and interest in the truth. Many men or women fall in love with you having long philosophical conversations or talking about experience and personal anecdotes. They fall in love with your mind when you have Venus in Sagittarius. Sagittarius rules judgment, and although individuals may have judged you superficially at first based on your femininity or your free attitude if you're a male, or perhaps your charm or your appearance, a simple conversation with you reveals that your mind actually contains a lot more wisdom and authority, and people find this attractive, and they are both unexpectedly humbled and seduced by that, especially in the case of the women. Again, people might superficially judge those with Venus and Sagittarius based on their attraction, because Sagittarius is about judgment. So this is a seductive trait of yourself that you can use to your advantage, understanding that people will be making judgments of you and you can pleasantly surprise them, with your intelligence or your wisdom. The charming and unassuming qualities of Venus when it is in Sagittarius are seductively contradicted by the autonomous and cultured attitude of Sagittarius. In love, you prefer not to be coddled, liking a healthy amount of freedom and intellectual respect and equality. Here are a few celebrities with this placement: Katy Perry, Billie Eilish, Emmanuel Macron, David Bowie, Nicolas Sarkozy, Nicki Minaj, Kendall Jenner, Joseph Stalin, Ivanka Trump, Margaret Thatcher, Mac Miller, Ryan Reynolds, Shah Rukh Khan, and Jimi Hendrix. Now let's talk about what this placement means through each of the houses. First house, your appearance is revealing and attractive. You are very free in either your personality or femininity. If you're a woman, it would be your femininity. If you are a male, it's your personality, and your energy is very detached and charming and free. Second house, you are generous and carefree with your possessions. Also, you tend to receive a lot of things and offers from others, and you are somebody that's not inhibited from taking those offers and taking those things. A lot of people have difficulty receiving, but not Venus and Sagittarius. Third house, you are charming and relatable as a communicator, being able to relate to all walks of life and cultures intellectually, because the third house rules communication, it rules the mind. So Venus in Sagittarius becomes an aspect of your mind and speech. Generally speaking, with Venus being in your third house, you will have an appealing voice and are a seductive storyteller. You also love to talk endlessly because Sagittarius is about excess and abundance, and when it's in the third house with a planet here, this represents communication, and Venus is the planet of what we love or what we value and what brings us pleasure. So such individuals love to have long philosophical conversations or relate to others intellectually. Fourth house, you are a caring and nurturing friend or lover, especially through providing guidance and advice towards others. Though you seem healthily detached and autonomous, you like to care for others from a guidance standpoint, and you're also quite generous with your time and care and energy. And you like to invest time, energy, care, and resources into those that you care about, and that's how people know that you love them or care about them. But also they respect you as equal intellectually, or like as a superior sometimes, because Venus in Sagittarius shows wisdom. And a lot of times when somebody is caring or vulnerable, usually people can take them for granted or look down upon them, but not with Venus in Sagittarius in the fourth house. People sense your no strings attached care for them. They sense that you are wise and that you're like, there are qualities of you that they respect essentially, and it's almost like you have fatherly love for individuals that makes you attractive, or you're like caring, because Sagittarius rules the father, and the father is usually a detached guidance figure, and at the same time the fourth house rules the mother. So there's like a healthy balance between being a guiding figure and providing wisdom, and that being your way of caring for other people. So that is your love style when you have Venus and Sagittarius in the fourth house, and it's also what makes you relatable or attractive. Fifth house, you are cool or popular and attract a lot of attention. The fifth house is about spotlight, and Venus is about attraction. So those with Venus in the fifth house will attract attention to themselves gracefully and sometimes effortlessly. Romantically, with Venus and Sagittarius here, it shows that you are exciting to date, because your aura and your character radiates the energy of Venus in Sagittarius. You are charming and pleasantly relatable because of your optimistic and carefree personality, and you're quite free with your femininity if you are a woman. And also you command respect intellectually, though, which can be hot, can be seductive. And of course, with Venus in Sagittarius, there's always this attractive detachment about their lifestyle. It's not that they don't care about you, but they have a connection to God before anything else, or they have a philosophical obligation before anything else. So they see the world through the realm of reason, and so they don't take things personally. They just become wiser from them. So that's why they are so detached in love in some cases. And it's not that they don't feel things, it's just the way that they process might be different, because I know some of you guys are listening to this and feeling opposed to that trait, but it is a trait of yourself if you have Venus in Sagittarius. Sixth house, with Venus in Sagittarius in the sixth house, you have a love for science and technical knowledge. Also, the sixth house rules lifestyle and routine. So such people love to beautify their surroundings and their lifestyle. They like to improve things around the house, around the workplace, around the the design of things, and they like to make the environment more Venus and Sagittarius like, more freeing, more optimistic, more inspiring. Such people love to hang up inspirational messages in their room, but in a design friendly way, you know. And it could also be in the workplace that they work at. And generally speaking, such individuals work towards a lifestyle of financial freedom and abundance. That's like one of their main passions. So they love learning about, you know, life hacks, financial hacks, opportunities for travel, you know, stuff like that. And they like to live a well-rounded life, but also pay attention to the practical matters and restrictions of reality. So things such as budgeting and, you know, organization and stuff like that. And within your routine, because the sixth house rules routine, having Venus in Sagittarius shows that you prioritize the healthy dose of pleasure within your routine and your lifestyle choices. You always like to incorporate an aspect of living life to the fullest, and you kind of build your routine around that, around living a well-rounded life. And that's one of the things that you're passionate about, because Venus shows passions and things that we love. Seventh house, this placement of Venus in Sagittarius shows that you like to learn from your relationships, and you like to relate on an intellectual level. You enjoy new experiences with others, and you treat your relationships like a medium towards newer experiences, or like a source of inspiration or excitement. Sagittarius rules excitement, it rules partying, it rules experiences. So your relationships can really revolve around experiences and adventure, and usually your best friends will formulate around the people that you've had the most adventures with. That's how your best friendships form, as opposed to other topics which would be shown by a different sign. And your relationships, when Venus is in Sagittarius in the seventh house, can be superficial, a bit spontaneous and circumstantial, but you enjoy the excitement and variety in love that this brings you. Eighth house, this placement of Venus in Sagittarius shows that you create a lot of heartbreak and obsession in love due to your carefree and detached nature, and simply due to you having a lot of options. It may not even be intentional on your part to create heartbreak in other people. Also, you love risk and change, and you love taboo subjects, exploring the unknown and exploring, you know, the dark truth, or exploring the risky side of life. And this comes from having Venus in the eighth house. Sagittarius is about exploration, and the eighth house is about the dark side of things, or the mystery of life. So furthermore, these individuals love occult knowledge. They love learning about spirituality, manifestation, astrology, spell work, candle magic, or any type of form of magic, things that alter reality. And finally, you also will have an abundance of admirers, and you like having an abundance of admirers, hence why you are so open with your value or your femininity, depending on if you're a male or a woman. For a male, it could be his charm or his seductive side, but this may also be the reason you create a lot of obsession or insecurity in your relationships, is because you're always attracting admirers or attention or options. It's like you always have options. Venus in Sagittarius in the ninth house shows that you have a love of adventure, culture, and new experiences, which you may pursue through your love life. Also, since Venus shows money and wealth, this placement shows you invest a lot of your money into new experiences, into knowledge, and also, you may have a lot of wisdom about romance or femininity, because Venus is the planet that rules femininity. And it also rules art, money, value, and anything that's pleasant or pleasurable. So you might also have a lot of knowledge or wisdom around the arts. With this placement of Venus, it shows that you are an intellectual and philosophical being, and you find pleasure in reading as well. 10th house, with Venus here in Sagittarius, being a feminine coach becomes part of the profession or public image. Or you may teach a value, because Venus represents value. On the other hand, your possessions can become an example or a teaching point for others, because Venus rules wealth and possessions. And when it's in the 10th house, it becomes part of like our public image or what we are known for. And Sagittarius is about teaching other people. Another thing is that your experiences in relationships, for one reason or another, become public knowledge or a part of your reputation when you have this placement. The 10th house is the house of reputation, and and relations to the public. At some point, or even regularly, you might date high status individuals or figures of wisdom, teachers, gurus, like wise or important individuals. And a lot of those that have Venus and Sagittarius in the 10th house, particularly the women, actually mostly the women, they look for a father figure in love, or they look for qualities of a father in their love life, because the 10th house shows authority and it shows the father, and so does Sagittarius. And generally speaking, all those that have Venus and Sagittarius may date older individuals at some point, or they might actually prefer older individuals in romance because they prefer intellectual maturity in love. That's the main thing of this placement. Also, success becomes a big aspect of your relationships, and you seek to combine with somebody that's going to expand your mind and your success. 11th house, Venus and Sagittarius. If you have this placement, this shows that you are attracted to intelligence and individuality. You may lead an unconventional love life or lifestyle. Your relationships being detached and bordering on friendships. The 11th house represents friends, and it also represents groups. So in rare cases, people with this placement can want the group relationship or polygamous agreement, open relationships. Of all the Venus signs, you are the most likely to have this or to be okay with this. As a female, this Venus placement shows that you may attract a man asking for this at some point. Of course, not all the women that have this placement will be okay with that. 12th house. If you have Venus in Sagittarius in the 12th house, you have a love of spirituality, and your relationships take on a spiritual, enlightening, or godly aspect. You have creative gifts and a vivid imagination, because the 12th house rules imagination. A love of spiritual knowledge and of culture is present as well. You are good at diplomacy and understanding others, because Sagittarius is about knowledge and it's about understanding. And the 12th house is very universal. So having this planet shows that you harmonize well with people of all walks of life and of all sorts of cultures, and this makes you relatable and attractive. Venus in the 12th house, which represents foreign lands as well, and also Sagittarius represents travel and foreign lands. This will show that you may have a relationship in a foreign land at some point, or with a foreigner, somebody from a faraway place. Sometimes the relationships can take on a long distance aspect as well in general when you have this placement. And generally speaking, foreigners are attracted to you regardless of your country of origin. They just find you charming, attractive, and relatable. With that being said, that is the last Venus placement for this video. I appreciate the support, and I hope this was insightful. And with that being said, don't forget to leave a like on this video if you enjoyed, and subscribe to this channel to see more of your placements when they come out. Other than that, that is all for today.